get into it. It's been a while since we've seen our vampiric friends. So perhaps a little bit of a recap to begin would be good. Fiona's world has begun to crumble. With her headquarters destroyed and many of her people injured or killed in a drone attack by Aegis, she's aware that there are powerful, shadowy forces moving in the political landscape of the city and that they could have quite an impact on the kindred. Desmond, meanwhile, has been living with Elise and Fletcher. Elise, who is now focused on finding a girl named Cecilia after having a vision of her in the wake of Maria's death. All she knows is that Cecilia is somehow connected to Margot de la Sombra. Speaking of Margot, Margot continues to hunt l'enfant terrible, the killer, the creature, the monster, whatever, who was responsible for the 26 victims that they found, that Margot and Fiona found in a warehouse in Montreal. The enfant terrible continues to call her out by name and continues to taunt her and remains elusive as ever. The 23 and 3 victims that Margot and Fiona did find disappeared and have now been discovered. 21 of them dead, frozen to death in a driveway in the east end of Montreal. By sheer coincidence, near where Fiona lost 2 of her people to Aegis. Coincidence. By all appearance, these 26 victims were kidnapped sometime in 1976. We don't know what happened to them in between them, but their bodies are currently in the city morgue. Les Entreprises du Lys Noir, a consortium of shadowy power brokers in the province, have begun the construction of a massive pyramidal structure in Midtown. You know that... What else do you know? Sorry, there's just stuff that I need to skip over here. You know that the creature that Margot is hunting, l'enfant terrible, is connected to the Lys Noir somehow. You also know that the Lady in Blue, a mage called Calomé de Troyes, is connected to them and the pyramid. She was a follower of Trois Echelles, and along with the Rat King and Vico, represents one of 3 aspects of Trois Echelles' soul, in that they are waging an influence war over the dreams of the citizens of Montreal. Vico represents pleasure and hedonism, the Rat King represents caring and assistance for the weak, and Calomé represents decay and death. So this is where we are currently, with Elise still trying to gather the various people that are drawn to her since she had the tattoos and the ritual done. Margot attempting to find l'enfant terrible, and Fiona attempting to put her world back together after the events of the last Demimonde. Margot. Your friend, if we can call him that, l'enfant terrible, has been very busy. Has been very busy sending you postcards. These postcards that you have received continue his habit of taunting you. He seems to be focused very specifically on you. You know, he's called you out by name before. You saw a sign from him when you found the bodies in the warehouse. And in that warehouse, there was a sign calling you out to come and play. Since then, he's been sending you these postcards, always addressed to Shady Margot. The first one reads, Margot, Margot, where do you go? When the night turns darkest and your blood is thinnest, come play with me, for I adore thee. The next one you receive read, Margot, Margot, I fear for you so, for the night is so dark. Yet, come now, hark. Grandmother is here to protect you, my dear. Margot, Margot, why always so blue? I wonder what I can do. Perhaps my mother, her daughter, will do, for she is the real lady in blue. Margot, Margot, let me be true. We need you, long for you, want you, you. Margot, Margot, darkness incarnate, look to the abyss, stare into its cold, suffusing void. There, see her? It is grandmother, who loves you like no other. Except for me, of course. I'm your number one lover. Let's play. And the last one, most interestingly, Margot, Margot, let's play. The time has come. Ask Violet. She knows. 1271 Rue Hall, Nuns Island. A little postscript on that particular postcard reads, My, how Cecilia grows. What's been going through Margot's head in the past few weeks receiving these various postcards and notes, and what has she been doing?
I think through the chaos of everything that's happened, and in conjunction to receiving these postcards, I think she's been studying them, and the rage is quietly broiling within her. I think it would be fair to say that more often than not, Margot's found sort of at the foot of her bed, and I imagine she's in this tiny studio apartment, and she just reads them over and over and over again as they come in. And I think when she does this, I think with all of this feeling, this anger built up in her and fear coinciding with that, I think each time she goes through them, she gets up and she goes to her kitchen drawer. And I think she slams her fingers in the drawer just to get out this rage. I think this is how much it's affecting her. And then she continues with her usual work of destroying what she hates the most within the world, and while seeking out this individual.
When you get the final one, the one with the note about Violet and the address, what do? Nuns Island is a small island that's on the southern shore, between Montreal itself and the southern shore. It's a remote little place where, for the most part, it's condo towers that belong to people with a bit more money, but there are a few sections of the island that have fairly older townhouses and smaller isolated homes like that. You would assume that this one is such a isolated little home.
I think she waits a day. I think she goes about her business. She probably checks in on Fiona at some point, and then the next night when she wakes up as early as she possibly can, she gets up and she gets dressed, and she goes to that kitchen drawer, and she slams her fingers in the drawer, and I think she sets out for this address. I'm assuming she has to get there by ferry.
No,
bridge.
You could. There's the bridge is right there. You could just take the bus, or you could drive. You could take a cab.
I think she takes the bus.
Because
I think she feels comfortable there. Yeah.
What does Fiona tell Margot when Margot reaches out to her?
My question is, what does Margot say in the reach out?
I've got a lead, And I think that it's best if I go by myself.
Good luck, chick. Don't get yourself fucking killed.
It's gonna take a lot more than that to kill a ghost.
Dealing with some ghosts on my end, too.
I'll check in on you later.
Again, don't fucking die.
Aye, aye, Captain.
She just responds with a salute emoji.
You travel by bus to Nuns Island. You find the house tucked at the end of a winding lane where the streetlights thin out and the silence grows thick around the trees. It's small, almost modest, a low modern townhouse with clean lines, darkened windows that blend into the shadows of the surrounding pines. The wind carries the smell of the river, cool and breezy, and the soft rustle of leaves overhead is the only thing that interrupts the stillness. But then there it is. A sliver of warm light spilling from a side window, just enough to paint a faint glow on the hedges below. The curtain stirs gently in the breeze, and through the open window you hear it. Soft jazz. Slow, smoky, curling into the night like a secret whispered into the dark. It doesn't clash with the quiet, it becomes part of it, as if the house is breathing to its rhythm, alive in its own private dream. You pause on the sidewalk, the gravel crunching faintly under your shoes, and look toward the door. There's no movement, no silhouette in the light. Just the music, the low amber glow, and the sense that this place, this little house at the edge of everything, is holding something close. Something it won't easily give away. You're a creature of shadow, and so you look to them, see how they frame every ounce of light, underscore every line, move in time with the rustling leaves. They whisper to you. There is fear in this house, soft and buried, but there nonetheless. What do you do?
I think Margot, as much as she would love to just creep into this house unannounced, I think she takes a practical step forward and walks towards the door. She has her asp kind of in her sleeve of her jacket, and she's clutching the very tip of it. And she knocks.
You knock and you hear, after a moment inside, a small dog yapping and yipping, and a voice, soft and brittle, say, "That's enough, Robert. That's enough." And then the little dog stops yipping, and you hear footsteps approaching, and you see through this sort of yellowed, worked glass in the door, the silhouette of someone approaching. The door opens. And meanwhile, across the city. Fiona is meeting with her group. A few weeks ago, your headquarters was blown up. Destroyed by a drone, ostensibly that had come from Aegis. Two of your people had come across an Aegis van and tried to take a peek inside, and the soldiers had come out and seen them and killed them, and then had used their phone to track your headquarters down and sent the drone. It was thanks to one of your people, Lucia, that most of the people there had been able to evacuate before the drone blew up. You got the feeling it wasn't a super serious attack, it was more a warning. But it still injured a number of people, it still destroyed your headquarters and your computers and most of your databases and everything, and it could have killed a good number of them. Since then, along with Lucia and Bruno and some of the others, you've been trying to rebuild, trying to find a new place, trying to get the permits necessary to purchase a new building. But you've been finding yourself stymied at every turn. Something or someone somewhere is blocking you. Lucia tells you that there seems to be some political interference from City Hall that are blocking your attempts at purchasing or even renting a new place. Difficult to say where it's coming from. She says there's very much a sort of omerta going on, a code of silence going on at City Hall these days, like everyone's watching everybody else and no one's talking, but it's very clear that there's interference coming from there. What do you want to do, boss? Says Bruno.
Christ, I hate the fucking red tape. This is worse than trying to find a fucking apartment here.
Yeah, tell me about it. Last summer I was stuck. I was going to try to move. Remember, I had that 3.5 up on Tupper Street, and then I was going to try to move to this other place, but then I could only move on July 1st, but then the person I was moving into, their apartment was only going to be free on July 1st, and then...
Yes, riveting story. Thank you so much, Bruno. I appreciate it. Now, could you get me...
Your boss.
Fuck. I think we got to get Talkner on the line.
Not for nothing, boss, but the guy works at City Hall. Like, how much do you think you can trust him?
Probably about as far as I could throw him, which might be about 10 feet if I got a good foothold.
No. I don't think we have a lot of friends these days.
Yeah, no fucking joke. Could you imagine what would have happened if more people were in there? If I was in there? We'd be fucked.
What do you want to do?
Yeah, let's talk to Talkner.
I did forget that I wanted to ask Bones to do a rouse check, and I'm going to ask all three of you actually to make a rouse check for tonight. If you...
No.
Hot diggity dog.
1 success.
Okay.
Regular schmegular.
Success.
Sorry, my sheet is loading. That, my love, is a success.
Excellent. You pick up the phone and give Talkner a ring. See if you can get a hold of Talkner, shall we?
Sounds like a plan.
Give me a charisma and a politics roll.
Politics. That's 3 successes.
Excellent. You ring his phone, and after a couple of rings, I don't think you should be calling me on this line.
Where the fuck else am I supposed to call you, motherfucker?
You make a valid point.
What, do you want me to meet you at a coffee shop or something? You're not exactly the easiest person to get away from work.
No. Sorry, look, sorry, I'm just feeling a little paranoid these days. It feels like everyone out here is staring daggers at everyone, and there's a lot going on.
Yeah, it's fucking Quebec. There's always something going on here.
Yeah. No, I know. What you got? What can I do for you?
Well, I want to know why I can't get a bloody new office. I can't get into my old place. I can't get something new. And I'm told that there's something on the city level that's blocking me. So I want to know who the fuck it is.
Yeah. Hold on a second. You hear him talk to someone, and like, hold on, and then you kind of hear him walk, and then you hear a door open, and then you hear some wind, and yeah, sorry, I had to step outside.
On your private balcony? Do you always take your calls out there? Where the fuck are you?
I'm at City Hall. I'm just
Just
on
make
the
sure no
smoking
one's
balcony
listening to
out back.
you. Yeah, all right, great.
No, no one smokes anymore. We have a smoking balcony, but no one smokes anymore. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Tell them to go back to art school. There's plenty of smokers there.
I don't get it.
Never mind.
Okay. Yeah, look, so you got a problem, and your problem is called Caroline Urtubise. Now, Caroline is close to the mayor. She's a councilwoman. She's close to the mayor. And she's the one that's been running interference and blocking everything that has to do with you. Now, my understanding is that there was a meeting behind closed doors, and one of the things that came out of that meeting was that they felt that your group being an operative for a little while would not be a bad thing for the city, especially as we're rolling on to festival season. And that's usually when you and your guys like to kind of get active, which I understand. You want to make a point, that's fine. But so I think they're kind of just interested in stalling you until the winter.
Question, storyteller. This is not the same woman who I had seen as like the new head of police.
No.
Okay.
There was Eru. She's a different person.
Okay, just wanted to double check.
What'd you do to piss her off, though?
Search me. I don't know her. Because I don't know her, correct?
I think you're connected enough to have heard of her, but she's one of like, whatever, 30 or 40 council people and city council people in the city. Like, you don't pay attention to all of them.
Is this like a Parti Québécois, like, power suit
No, so
wearing...
we're talking about municipal politics here.
Right. But is she like a power suit wearing ballbuster kind of?
Are you asking him?
What do I know? What do I know about her?
Really, not much. She's just like I said. Like, she represents one of the neighborhoods in town. You've never really heard of her. She's never been someone who sat on any committees or had anything to do with anything that you are involved in. So it is kind of a surprise. She's kind of out of nowhere, but you catch something in Togner's voice. It's almost like he's saying like, what'd you do to piss off Darth Vader or something like that. Like, you can tell that he's feeling like this is a pretty bad enemy to have.
Togner, is this like a dragon lady? Is she like...
Oh no, she's this mousy little woman, really quiet, like barely makes any waves. She looks like a librarian and not the kind that you take home and suddenly she becomes Dungeon Mistress Kathy, like she just really looks like a mousy little, she's got like a bob and like it's.
What neighborhood does she represent?
Outremont, but that's not the issue.
So how does she have any sway over what?
Have you ever heard of Les Entreprises du Lys Noir?
I have.
Look, they have a lot of power. Whoever's in power in City Hall, they usually control about 3/4 of them. She's running things for them. Like, she's their person right now at City Hall. She's the one that they've got talking in the mayor's ear.
You know what I fucking hate about the government?
The government?
Well, that. It's the fact that the corporations run everything. There's no fucking reason why this woman should have as much power as she has. I'd like to arrange a meeting. Set it up for me.
I don't know that's gonna work. I can try, but I have a suggestion for you.
Go on.
Are you in a suggestion getting mood, or?
I'm in a hurry up and fucking say it, please.
I would say go above her head. She doesn't interface directly with them. You gotta kind of separate the two a little bit at least. There's this guy. He's kind of a fixer. His name's Tanner Brooks. That name rings a bell to you.
What do I know about Tanner Brooks?
Tanner Brooks, he's kind of a union power broker. Basically, he does the exact same job you do, but he does it with unions. He helps organize and or break strikes depending on, what's happening and who's involved. He basically does the same job you do, but with unions and with strikes and things of that nature. You know that he works for a company called Paragon Crisis Management. Hey, thank you, Patrick, for the gifted subs. Really appreciate you, man. Thanks.
Thank you, Patrick.
He's the guy that she gets her orders from. He's the go-between between her and the Black Lilies.
Interesting. Would I know the name, would I have ever interacted with him based on the job I do?
Yeah, I actually, well, let's go ahead and let's see if you have. Give me, again, give me a charisma and politics roll.
I keep losing politics, mainly because I can't see. That's 3 successes, love.
Excellent. You've encountered him a few times before. He is one of those, what's his name? The politician in America, in Pittsburgh, I think, who was a union guy who like wore hoodies and stuff like that all the time. He got elected recently. You know who I'm talking about, right? So he's kind of like that. He's a guy who used to be like a very blue collar, you know, union guy, and eventually he got into politics and he kind of got a bit of influence and power and whatnot, and he kind of still clings to that image of a bit of an everyman kind of thing. But you know that he's old school. He's like back in the day when a lot of union stuff was run by the mobs and whatnot. Like, he's that kind of guy.
Okay. Would I then, based off of the successes I rolled, know how to get in touch with him?
Yeah. Certainly.
Okay.
Certainly.
Talkner, thanks for the intel. I appreciate it. I'm sorry I'm a bit snippy. I'll reach out to Brooks.
I thought you were kind of nice and lovely today compared to usual, actually.
She just narrows her eyes at the phone.
Are you staring at me through the phone?
You said everybody's staring daggers all around. Count me in that.
I think I'm going to start smoking. Let me know if there's anything else.
I appreciate you. Do me a favor, friend.
Mm-hmm.
You seem to be saying this a whole lot. Don't get yourself killed. Seems like things are dicey.
Killed? What do you mean killed?
I don't know. Maybe it's just a little bit of a superstition and my background.
Don't get yourself killed either.
Well, I won't.
Okay. All right, gotta go.
Call if you need anything.
Yep. And as you hang up the phone, you hear Bruno say, "Oh, Christ, Wolf. The cops are here."
Oh, fucking great. I was getting a little peckish.
Meanwhile, back at the Tremere household, it's been a few days, or nights rather. It's been a few nights, Elise, since you buried Maria. A few nights since you had that ugly encounter with Arkham. Few nights since you had that strange encounter with Father Dubois, who had seemed kind of conciliatory for once. You've been replaying over and over in your head this vision that you got, this image you got of this young woman named Cecilia. And the more you think about her, the more you are convinced that She's the one that is meant to, you hate thinking about it this way, but replace Maria. How is Elise these nights following these events of the funeral and these encounters with Arkham and Father Dubois, and with these visions of this young woman running in her head? What's been happening with Elise?
She's been keeping those closest to her, those that she loves the most, even closer than usual. A lot of times she can be found in the parlor where she's yet to take down Maria's artwork, sitting amid it, studying it, getting lost in it, ruminating on those names, Cecilia and Margot, and she thinks back to the strange La Sombra girl that she met underground in Villa Marie. I believe she would have spoke to JD about Margot, perhaps questioned him some, since the two seemed as though perhaps they knew each other, even if just to ask rumors of her or what kind of person she is.
I think he would have told you that she has a bit of a reputation. She's called the Fantôme, the Ghost. She has a bit of a reputation as someone who, he kind of gives you a little wry smile and says she's a bit like Batman, I guess. She has a tendency to hunt down very specifically abusive men, and bring her own kind of justice to them. She's known as someone that women in peril can call upon or rely upon to protect them and to keep them safe. She has a reputation as a very, very tough cookie, very tough customer. A bit of a kind of private eye-ish kind of thing going on. Sorry?
I said Elise would be thrilled by this. I would like to point out that she wouldn't necessarily be sad during this time period, not as sad as she thought she would be about the loss of Maria and the following funeral or celebration of life as she billed it to everybody. There's this strange determination about her right now. And she's often lost in her thought on what to do. What's the next step? How can she get closer to her goal?
You hear Fletcher ask Desmond to do a favor for him. He asks Desmond if he knows anyone, if he's got any contacts involved in the book trade in Montreal, and Desmond says yes. And he says that he's looking for a book of old maps of Montreal, very specifically maps going back further than 1750. You hear him ask for anything with a mention of Seven Sisters or of the Silver Sisters. Soon after, you hear Desmond depart, leave to go meet whatever contact he has in this department. And moments later, you hear a knock at the door of your room or your boudoir, your office, wherever you might be, and you know that it's Fletcher.
She gives a little, "Come in."
Hello, darling. Have you removed your morning garb, Elise, in the time since we last saw you?
Yeah, she definitely did. After Maria was buried.
Okay.
She did, because while she wanted to keep very tight to that tradition, that Victorian tradition that she kind of grew up around, she also wanted to create her own tradition out of that, and that's where the celebration of life came from. And after that day, she removed the garb and has had this very like go get 'em determination attitude stomping around the house lately. She's been a little bit more full of life than she has in a while. I imagine when Fletcher comes in, she's like laying with her head like thrown backwards off the bed, and she's like braiding her hair in strands, and she's just kind of wearing like some little silky thing.
He opens the door and says, "Well, I guess we're done mourning. That's good."
Oh, so we have other things to do now, don't we?
Indeed. Have you been thinking some more about this young woman you saw?
I have. First, Desi, a bit about Margot, the other name that came to me. He says she has quite a reputation. A bit of a vigilante of sorts. It's very exciting.
I think she kind of rolls over onto her belly and puts her chin in her hands.
Oh, we're the Seven Sisters.
He comes
I
over.
wasn't listening or anything.
Sorry. He smiles, comes over, and he sits cross-legged on the floor right in front of you. His face right in front of yours. He says, Seven Sisters, there's something, a note from some of Toisichet's things when he arrived here. He was very obsessed with Constantinople and the Seven Hills of Constantinople, and he sought out or found or stumbled upon 7 landmarks in the city that he called the Seven Sisters. And looking through some of the work that I found, I think it was just a mistranslation, and it's supposed to be the Silver Sisters. In any case, I've been thinking. I think we have a interesting opportunity here. A lot of what we've seen from Toisichet has been this man who had this dream of a kind of utopian place. We've been using his rituals and following his trail in order to achieve something that we want, Golconda. Something that came to him late, I think only obviously after he was embraced. He had a different dream before that. But even after he was embraced and started searching for Golconda, he still had this dream for a city, a place where kindred and kind could live in harmony.
Isn't that a wonderful dream?
Well, I've always been enthralled by how you have created that here in this house. Is this care you have for mortals, is this something that you feel could be bigger for you?
Bigger? How so?
Like, instead of being a dozen or so people that you care for in our home, could you see yourself trying to create a place like we've built here, or rather that you've built here, because it's been you, let's face some facts, that you've built here for your followers, but on a more citywide scale?
Sometimes I feel as though I could love the whole world if they let me. But I think the city is a good place to start.
I've been thinking about that. I think there's an opportunity here, but what I'm about to tell you is kind of dangerous. We have to be very careful who we speak of about this. There are 2 princes in this city. One of them is missing, presumed gone. The other one is soon going to gobble up his domain. Just leaves Prince Van Horn. I've long thought that Prince Van Horn's particular comportment has been one of the reasons why the city has falling on such hard times. I often wonder what might happen if there was a different prince, someone who had more care for the city and for its citizens, and not just for whoever has enough political power to merit attention.
Do you have someone in mind?
No, and that's the problem. I don't have someone in mind, but that doesn't mean that we can't start working towards that. If we are to attempt to wrest control of the city to a certain degree in order to change the course, the direction in which the city is going, which is downward, we need to start by building a base of support. We need allies. We need other people who think like us, who would be willing to see this kind of change and to enact it.
Have you ever thought that maybe you don't need to look for a perfect candidate? Perhaps he's in the mirror.
I'm sorry? Perhaps.
He's in the mirror. Have you tried looking in one lately, darling?
I tried to avoid it,
Hmm.
but I don't think that's a great idea. I do think, however, that much like as the ritual has been enacted, people have been drawn to you. I think that if we start the process, something will suggest itself. Someone will suggest itself along the way.
Well, I guess we'll see what happens. I will say it can be a bit polarizing with humans and the kindred alike. They either love me or they hate me.
Well, that is perhaps true, but I think that at the end of the day, what some people think is immaterial, as long as you are honest and truthful about yourself and your intentions and what you do, and you act in a way that is truthful with what you believe in, then it doesn't really matter what others think.
Fair statement.
You do have a way with certain people, however, and certainly more than I have. You have made connections and made, if not friends or allies, at least acquaintances in the city. And I think it would be good if you could gently speak to some of them and see what kind of interest they might have in changing things in this city. And this is how you should frame it. Would you like to see some change in the city? What kind of change would you like to see in the city? If you had the opportunity to change the city, what would you do?
I think she, sits up and kind of reaches over to her nightstand, and I imagine she has this really beautiful ornate silver mirror that has a wrap around the handle so she can hold it, and she's just kind of holding it and staring into it going, would you like to see change in this world? What kind of change would you like to see? And then looks back at him.
Very good. That's exactly what you would be doing. You don't take this very seriously, do you?
I am. I do. I can't get my mind off that girl, Cecilia.
Well, that's good, because I think the first thing we should do is find her.
I've never been any good at politics.
I don't need you to do politics. I need you to find this girl and then simply bring your acquaintances around. I'll handle the political stuff.
She turns the mirror to him and holds it to his face.
He's
Don't be a fool. You're exceedingly handsome.
Yeah. As I was in my youth, but I do have some kind of roguish charm, I guess. reaches out and puts the mirror down. But seriously, I think you need to find the girl first.
I agree. Perhaps a little drive around the city is in order.
Shall I fetch Faraday?
Yes.
And he reaches out and he turns the mirror towards you. If you're going to bother looking at something in the mirror, at least make it something worth looking at. Gives you a kiss on the...
She's charming, isn't she?
So many ways. Many of them beyond even my ability to.
Well, off to find the needle in the haystack now.
I'm sure you'll do just fine. I'll fetch Faraday. And remember, be truthful and honest with yourself. You don't have to sell people something you don't believe in. Think of the people of the city and the people you want to help and act in that interest. You are not out there selling a used car to someone. You're just attempting to, well, create the place that you would want to live in. The same way we've curated this house.
Have I ever stopped leading with my heart, darling?
Not one bit.
Well, I don't intend to anytime soon. Stop, that is.
And he leaves and goes to fetch Faraday as you make yourself ready to head out. Meanwhile, on Nun's Island, Margot, the door opens and you see a woman, a little older. There's an indelible sadness in her eyes. The jazz music is playing behind her in a house that is very quaint, very comfortable, very filled with beautiful things, art and paintings and beautiful decorations, beautiful plants. It is a very cozy, very welcoming home, but still you feel something off lingering in the shadows. Can I help you?
Are you Violet?
Yes. And you are?
A ghost.
When you say that, her eyes go wide and she takes a step back, and you can see that, for whatever reason, that has triggered something in her.
The moment she takes a step back, Margot takes a step forward and she is crowding her.
Okay, I don't... What do you want? I don't know you.
Let's take a step inside and have a conversation, shouldn't we, Violet?
Who are you?
I already told you who I am. Now why don't you tell me who the fuck you are?
What is this? You come here in the middle of the night and barge into my home and demand things? I think you have to go. I think you need to leave. And you see that she's going for her cell phone.
Oh. I'm taking it immediately. I'm just going to snatch her wrist up. Hard enough to make her drop this phone.
And like she's active. Like you can see that you've triggered something in her. There's like this a very intense fight or flight that has just been triggered, and she's like trying to push you away, and she's screaming, let me go, as she's trying to pull away from you.
I think I'm going to get very low in her ear, very quietly, but with a great sense of control. You can either help me or you can say goodnight.
As you say that, are you using any discipline, or are you just...
That's a great question. No. Actually, no, I'm gonna use awe. Can I use awe?
Yeah, you can use awe.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna roll now.
Do you need to do a rouse check?
No, it's free. 5 successes. No crits. Regular.
You say that, and you can see that she makes a really intense effort to get herself under control, to get her fear under control. And then she says, I knew you'd come someday. I haven't said anything. I haven't spoken anything. I haven't told anyone. But still, I knew you'd come. I knew you'd eventually get tired of your little game. Why don't you just finish it once and for all? It's been 30 years. I should say, yeah, it's been 40 years.
I don't know who the fuck you are.
I don't know who the fuck you are either. Aren't you him? Her?
Are you talking about the terrible child?
The headless man.
It's not me. I'm chasing him.
Chasing him?
Yeah, I'm gonna kill him. Is that okay with you?
Some kind of thick joke?
No. I'm serious. He has a heart attack. Why don't we take a seat inside?
Let go of me.
Slowly, she unwraps her fingers from this woman's wrist.
She gets up. I was making some tea. Do you want some?
I'm good.
Do you mind if I make some?
I don't give a shit what you do as long as you fucking spill.
You got some mouth on you.
Yeah, I've earned the right for it.
That's so.
Yeah, that's so. Is that a problem?
If you really mean it, if you're really after him to try and kill him, I guess it's true what they say, that sometimes the remedy is worse than the disease.
Damn fucking straight.
What do you want to know? She starts making tea for herself.
Are we like in a kitchen area, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I would say so, yeah.
Yeah, there's a table, I'm assuming that Margot can sit down at. She's gonna sit, and she sits like wide-legged, her elbows sort of pressed down on her knees, and she's sort of hunched forward. I want to know who he is and how you're connected to him.
How did you get my name and my address?
From him.
From him? How would he send you here?
She pulls out that last postcard that she got.
She comes over and she picks it up. This is crazy. He told me never to say anything, and now he sends you here?
What'd he do to you?
She drops your thing and she goes over to the cabinet and she pulls out the tea and she starts steeping her tea. Not so much what he did to me is what I think he may have done to someone I loved. a while back, 1976. I was with someone, Dr. Cassidy Kilgrave. She went to do a job. I didn't know any details about it. It was always super secretive. She worked for something called Les Entreprises du Lys Noir. We went to do a job and I didn't hear from her for a couple of weeks. A few months later, I met him. Man. At that point, I thought Cassidy had just pulled up stakes and abandoned me. She was always very focused on a lot of things other than us. In any case, I was wounded. I was sad. I let myself be seduced by this man, something that's almost never happened in my life. I only realized after that there must have been something strange going on. 3 months. 3 months he courted me, took me out on dates, treated me like I was the single most important person in the world. Then when he fully inserted himself into my life, we were talking about moving in together, about marriage, about children. I was the happiest I'd ever been. I didn't even question it at the time. It was just beautiful. And that's when he told me he worked for the people who had made Cassidy disappear. He just did all of that. Those 3 months, he just did all of that so that I would know how far he would go to get to me. He said if I ever heard from Cassidy again, I was to contact him immediately.
And did you?
I never heard or saw from Cassidy again. I was obsessed with him for years. After years, I couldn't remember his face. I'd been intimate with this man. I spent so much time looking at him and I could never remember his face. Like he was headless.
It's really unfortunate considering that was a detail I really needed to know. What the fuck does he look like?
I don't know, but I saw him again.
When?
Maybe 10 years later. Randomly, I saw him in the city. I just knew it was him. I followed him. He went to the Ruby Foos Motel on the Carry.
Okay.
At that point, I just wanted to know who he was. I wanted to know what had happened to Cassidy, where she was. I can't even tell you what I saw at the hotel. You wouldn't believe me.
Tell me.
I followed him up to the top floor. It was strange. It was a long corridor. There was just one door. The door was ajar. I pushed it open. Inside, there were bodies. Human bodies hanging from the ceiling in plastic sacks like cocoons. The sacks were wet from condensation. I screamed and they all started moving and making this strange throat noise. I turned to run. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I turned to run and he was there. Only it wasn't a he, it was a woman, but I don't know, she looked like him. She had the same clothes. I can't remember her face either, but it was a woman. Her voice was a woman's voice, but it echoed the same in my head as his voice did. She said to me, and I'll always remember that, she said to me, "Killing you would make it easier on me. But I rather relish the idea of you living in fear, knowing this secret, and knowing you can't speak of it because no one will believe you. And you don't know what might happen to you if you did. Go home now, Violet," she said. "Go home and live in fear the rest of your miserable little life. I'll be honest, it turns me on to imagine you living in fear all your life. Now go." I still dream of it. The moment when they all took a breath in their sacks and began making that horrible wet noise in their throats.
Margot gets up, and I imagine she's still carrying around the picture of the 23 and 3. Did it look like this?
Yes, but they were suspended upside down.
Yeah. Listen to me, Violet. And listen to me very carefully. There's a lot of really scary things out in this world, but I promise you, I am the boogeyman.
Honestly, after what I saw and what they did and said to me, I'm sorry to say this, but sister, you ain't shit.
Keep thinking that. Maybe they'll make you feel a little bit safer inside while I'm standing in your fucking kitchen. Listen, write down the address to that hotel.
You can't miss it. It's on the carry across from the giant orange. Oh, it was room 26.
Margot looks around really quickly for like a napkin and a pen.
Yeah, there's like a pad of paper there if you want, or a napkin or a tea towel, whatever you like.
Yeah, she just scribbles down her phone number. Listen, if you hear from him, if you need things taken care of, just call me. I didn't know what the fuck I was gonna find here. Half expecting to find him. But
realize he sent you here because he wants you to go to that hotel, right?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Well, I hope you're right, and that you are a bigger monster than he is.
I can guarantee it.
How can you be proud of that?
Because at least when I die and I go to hell, I earned my place there because I'm not a coward.
That's the most fucked up thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, well, maybe I'm a little fucked up, who's to say? Listen, I'm serious though, if you hear from him, call me.
She turns and she pours herself some tea. I'd like to be left alone now.
Goodbye, Violet.
Goodbye, Ghost. Good luck.
I think when she turns around, Margot's already gone.
You step out into the night. What do you do?
I call Vico.
after a few moments. Margot,
Pico,
are you all right?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine. What can I do for you?
Can I come over?
Of course.
I'm on my way. And she just hangs up. And she heads straight there on this immaculate public transit system of Montreal.
It is immaculate. There's posters everywhere on the bus. Have you seen this man? If you have, please notify security immediately. There's a picture of Father Dubois.
I take one of those posters. Do I recognize this face at all from around the city?
No, I'm kidding.
I wish.
As you head up there, Fiona. You see, much to your chagrin, Detective Fred St. Pierre, Sergeant Detective, SPVM, leaning in the door frame of this back room in the bar where you were meeting with your friends. Well. If it isn't the gang that couldn't shoot straight.
I don't know about you all, but do you smell bacon?
I love bacon.
I can tell. You're so fucking ritzy with it, love.
So what is this then? 4-H meeting? Rotary Club? What you got going on here? You are exercising your right to knocks on the door. Gather?
Well, since you arrived, I certainly think it is a 4-H meeting now. What the fuck are you doing here, Fred?
Well, I am conducting an investigation in which you are a person of interest.
Oh, I love being a person of interest. Considering the fact that you're not one. You're boring fuck.
Well, see, that's the difference between you and me, Wolfie. I don't need for people to think I'm bigger and badder and more important than I really am. I'm just a civil servant doing a job.
Right. Yeah, a job. Between the two of us, I'm the one who has a real job.
What, breaking shit and disturbing the peace and fucking sending people to jail with their stupid fucking actions because you told them to do that? I mean, is that really a job, or is that, I don't know, crime?
Why don't you go grab a donut, you fucking pig?
I don't like donuts. I'm fucking gluten intolerant. Shut the fuck up. You want some information?
Absolutely fucking tracks. Gluten intolerant. Wow. Oh, Christ.
I came to see if you had any more information about your friends. I use the term loosely, of course. Who were killed. Remember them? Chantal,
Had a lot of friends
Ravi,
that were killed.
Chantal and Ravi. They worked for you. And you sent them out to do whatever paparazzi shit you have them do. And you got them killed.
I got them killed.
You
last
got
I
them,
checked,
you
I
got
wasn't
them,
fucking there, and I don't have any fucking gunmen. So maybe you should be looking at some other fucking people. Get out of my fucking face, Fred.
In the back.
I'm not fucking talking to you. I don't have to fucking talk to you. I'm in the middle of something.
26 bodies. Remember those? Well, not bodies. 26 kidnapped victims that you found in a warehouse. Still don't know how you did that. You just fucking randomly stumbled upon them? Were you clearing out one of your caches and there was a few more bodies than you'd left behind? I don't know.
Fred, just because you are terrible at your fucking job does not make any of this my fault.
I take the fact that you hate me so much to mean that I am really good at my job, in fact.
Fiona stands up and walks to him and is probably 2 inches away from his face. I go, I hate you so much because you represent everything that is completely fucked in this world. I'm in the middle of something here, Fred. I would like for you to leave me alone.
Just thought you might like to know that we found 21 of your 26 bodies.
No
Dead.
more fucking bodies.
Dead, but there's 5 missing. And 21 of them died of exposure. And they were run over by a truck in some driveway in the East End. The other 5 are still at large. We still haven't found them. We presume that they're not dead since they're just walking around. And as far as I know, the dead are not walking around. Not yet, anyway. So we haven't reached that point of the apocalypse yet.
Once again, all of this just smacks of you being bad at your job. Meanwhile, Fiona is filing all of this away and is just like engaging in the repartee to get as much information out of him as she can.
We're going to be doing autopsies, of course, on all of them. If I find anything remotely tied to you, and I got to say that what I find most interesting in my job, aside from donuts, of course, the other thing that we're very fond of is coincidences. Like, you find 26 kidnapping victims in a warehouse. The next night, most of them are found dead in a house that's a few blocks away from where 2 of your people were shot and killed. Now, you tell me, what does one have to do with the other? And I'm like, there is a common factor. Can you guess what the common factor between those people getting shot and those dead people in the driveway? Can you want to take a wild guess what the common denominator is? I'll tell you, because I don't have all day to wait for you to fucking piece that one together.
I'm sorry, do you think you're fucking funny?
It's fucking you.
Oh.
You're the fucking glue between these 2 horrible fucking acts.
Did you ever bother to think that maybe I'm a fucking target? I don't know if you saw the news recently.
Oh, I'm aware that some of your people were hurt in an attack on your fucking world headquarters.
On a fucking explosive that went off at my office.
Yeah,
now I'm barred from getting in there. I'm barred from getting a new place. I've got you crawling up my ass trying to die in there.
Hey, it's for your safety.
Oh,
if you all gather around, I mean, they could try and blow you up again.
I swear to God, Fred. And like, there's a little bit of the beast that starts coming out. Like, she cannot fucking stand this guy. And given a moment's chance, she would fucking eat him.
Well, actually, since you are a Bruja, and he is kind of getting your goat, let's do a little something. Let's go ahead and have you make me a rouse check.
A success.
Hold on a second, please.
Okay. Just over here grinding my teeth to dust.
I'm actually going to ask you to make me a different roll then. Sorry, I shouldn't have asked for a rouse check. I need you to make a resolve check, but because of your bane, which is violent temper, I'm going to subtract dice equal to the bane severity for any roll to resist fury frenzy. Now, your bane severity is 2, but it can't go below 1 dice. So I'm going to ask you to roll 1d10.
Okay.
You can, if you want, use night moves. You do have a number of night moves kicking around.
Yeah. Fiona eventually will get her Daniel Craig, Mads Mikkelsen torture interrogation scene with this man, but this is not the time for it. And I have 6 night moves, so can I apply 2?
Yeah, and that will give you 4 dice.
So I get 4
You can roll
d10 total.
5 d10s, yeah.
Oh, 5 d10s.
Well, yeah, because you get 1 for your resolve. Because you can't draw... You have a 2 bane severity, but it can't draw below 1 die. So you'll add 4 plus the 1 for your resolve. So you'll get 5 d10s to roll.
Okay, and so question from the last time that we played. Do we have any hunger whatsoever? I was successful on my rouse check at the top.
Yeah, but you always have 1 hunger.
Copy. Okay, so fuck. Ah, God.
Also, see on your character sheet that you have a health, but you can heal that. And you...
Okay, so one of the die I will be rolling as a hunger die.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go. Okay. That's 4 successes. Suck my Irish tit.
That beast is clawing at you. It's fucking like literally you feel it, like you feel its claws come out of your mouth and pull your mouth open and try to come out of you, and you just kind of, you want nothing more than to let it free on this fucking guy, but you manage to clamp down on it, and you can see that he sees that something's happening, and he, for a moment there, you can see him turn a little white and kind of take a step back, and his hand kind of very surreptitiously kind of goes towards where you know his gun is, but then he kind of, when you get control of yourself, he stops and instead reaches into his coat and pulls out his cigarette pack and lights one, and you can see that he's shaking a little bit as he does, trying not to show, but
you know those things will kill you.
they were making that joke in the 80s, Wolf.
Fiona reaches out and grabs his chin and turns his cheek towards her and just gives a big old lick. I think there's a gluten-free bakery down the street. Why don't you go get yourself a little treat? It's been a busy, busy day.
You can see he's got a retort, but then sort of clamps down on it, drops the cigarette down, steps on it. See ya.
Ta-ta, Fred. Fucking cunt.
Turns around and walks out. Bruno's like, I thought for fucking sure you were gonna eat his face.
Do not put it past me. Because when it comes, I swear to fucking Christ, I will eat that man. I will suck him dry.
And you see Lucia's face like... Bruno's like,
Fiona reaches over and just like taps her on the cheek and goes, come on, it's tough talk. I was a New Yorker once, so... Anyway, where were we?
Paragon, crisis management.
Right. Well, we need to get in touch with this fucker Brooks. I think he's the one who's been blocking us. He's some sort of puppet master dealing with this weird mousy lady.
What do you want to do?
Fuck. I feel like we need to arrange a meeting.
Call his secretary?
Yes, let's go through the proper channels, and if we have to use the back channels, we will.
Lisa says, I've got her on the line.
Well, you're incredibly efficient. Pick up the phone.
She's still a little bit shaken by what she saw earlier, but hands you the phone. Paragon Crisis Management, how can I help you?
Hi there. My name is Fiona Saif. I am trying to get in touch with Tanner Brooks. I'd like to arrange a meeting.
Oh, Mr. Brooks is not here right now. He's at the auction.
The auction? What auction would that be, love?
And give me a second while I look at my... Hold on. I'm sorry. The auction for the penthouses, the group that's building the pyramid in Midtown, they're holding an auction tonight for some of the topmost penthouses. Money's supposed to go to the brewery mission. He's there tonight.
Oh, lovely. What time is that auction then? Is it happening now?
Yeah, it's started about half an hour ago at the Ruby Foods Hotel.
Wow, excellent. Thank you so much. What was your name?
Miriam?
Miriam.
Yes, I'm Mr. Brooks' assistant.
Oh, lovely. Look, if you do speak to him before I do, just tell him that Fiona's looking for him. And thanks, I will just pop off to that auction. Ta-ta! I hang up.
You want I should go with you?
I think we'll need you, love. Just, these guys are probably pretty fucking dangerous. I just really don't know what their vibe is. I doubt they'd cause a scene at something like an auction when there's fucking fundraising involved, but no one's to be trusted these days.
Okay. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna make my way to that auction. Bleak said, here's a carrot, and Tato said, I'm a bunny rabbit.
Elise. Faraday has been explaining to you what he's been working on, what he's been doing for you. He is showing you a whole bunch of spreadsheets and paperwork and whatnot. And he's saying, so I thought the first thing we might want to do is revive the mirror. Now, I don't know if you remember, I don't think you were in Montreal back then, but the mirror was this underground arts paper that had a lot of influence on what people saw, where they ate, where they hung out. It was like the reference was a free newspaper that everyone got, and it came out every Friday, and you know, people picked it up everywhere and all the time because like it had all the good stuff in it. Now, I tracked down the guy who used to edit and run that paper. His name is Ty Dunleavy, and I found him, and I think we can probably get him back on track to start the newspaper again with a little bit of funding. And I really think that if we did that, if we brought back the mirror, people would flock right back to it, and it could become the trend-setting rag that it used to be.
I quite like this idea. We could have some of our friends around here help us along.
what I thought. I also have a few other ideas. I thought if you wanted, we could set up a foundation, either in your name or in a different name, but we could get someone to run it, and it would be an arts endowment that would select people, select artists, either through a submission process or however we'd want to do it, but that we would sort of start shining a spotlight on some underseen and, less well-known artists, like a lot of your friends that hang out here. We could start with some of them, and eventually there are tons of government grants that we could get that would help this fund. It wouldn't all have to be your money, and again, between that and the newspaper, we could really kind of start guiding what becomes of interest to people in the art world here in Montreal. We could start really, in many ways, repainting the walls of the house.
Perhaps we could put it in Marie's name. A bit of a memoriam for her.
That's a great idea. We could kick it off by, we would need to talk to Arkham to see if we can get some of her stuff, and then we could kick it off with a display of her work, and then maybe an auction or something like that to start raising some funds, and then kind of kick that off with that, and we could get Ty Dunleavy to run that, and that could be like the first thing that he does for us, and then we could from then on move on with the newspaper, and really just, I think in a matter of probably 6 months we could really kind of be trend-setting, again, the way this paper used to.
He sees her demeanor change at the mention of Arkham.
You think okay?
I think perhaps you should talk to Arkham. He didn't have very nice things to say to me last we spoke.
Oh no. What happened?
He was quite cross about the Maria thing. He's blaming me for things, saying that I'm holding this celebration of life and it was embarrassing or inappropriate. I don't remember. It was all sort of a whirl of emotions. I don't think he wants to hear from me.
Well, I'm sure he'll maybe get over it, but if I don't think he wants to hear from me either. He wasn't very nice to me last time we spoke. I mean, I'll go if you want me to, obviously, but maybe we could find somebody else to approach him for us. He seems to get along with the father.
Perhaps we could use the father. He was strangely kind to me last I saw him. It was unsettling.
I've noticed that the father, dealing with him is kind of like flipping a coin. You're never sure which face you're going to get.
He's a bit of a madman, isn't he?
Well,
normally I'd find something like that quite charming or endearing, but in him it's spooky.
It's just so intense. It's like that that feverish quality of the true believer, that no matter what you say, no matter what proof you bring to them, it's not going to change their mind. Like, unsettling.
Though I think we could use him to get to Arkham. I'm not sure how eager Arkham's going to be to let go of some of her possessions. We have quite a few in the parlor, though. It's a good place to start.
I'll start making a list. And would you like to meet with Mr. Dunleavy, or do you want me to just handle that myself?
I could if you'd like, but I'd prefer that you'd be there with us.
Of course. But all that aside, Fletcher was saying that you want to go for a ride?
Faraday, yes, I would.
Very well. I brought out the car before I came to see you with this, so if you're good to go.
Yes, I'm quite ready.
We're going somewhere specific?
Just for a drive.
Okay.
Around.
Okay.
See the city a bit.
He takes you out and you climb aboard the car and he rolls out, going through the gates and starts heading into the city. You're in the back seat. The city's sliding past in dark like an old film reel burned at the edges. Montreal at night is a murmur now. Not the proud, defiant anthem it once was. The rain hits the windshield in slow rhythm, smeared by the wipers, like a memory you can't quite wipe away. Like the faded glory of the city and its once proud beauty refusing to die, but disappearing more and more by the minute. Faraday is quiet, allowing you to focus on the city around you. You pass buildings that once meant something. Art Deco facades crumbling under decades of disrepair, brickwork stained by time, windows like empty black eyes. The neon signs still buzz, but it's not the vibrant hum of nightlife anymore. It's the tired wheeze of ghosts clinging to old rituals. A bar here, still open but hollowed out. A diner with flickering fluorescence, patrons hunched and faceless in the glow. You don't need to go in to know the stench of melancholy and grief lingering in the air like a pall. You try to feel the city, really feel it, and all you get is a weight, heavy, slow, suffocating. The roads buckle beneath you like veins trying to collapse inward. Potholes yawn like open mouths. The graffiti on the walls isn't angry anymore, it's just tired. Vague tags, names half finished. Even the rebellion seems to have lost the will to stand. In the tall apartment towers that rise like gravestones, the lights flicker in strange uneven patterns. You wonder briefly who's behind those windows. What are they dreaming of? But you already know. Or maybe you've dreamt it yourself. Dreams thick with static. Voices calling in languages that echo but don't make sense anymore. You imagine someone lying awake at 3 a.m. staring at a cracked ceiling, thinking about a version of their life that's never arrived and never will. There's a numbness here, a quiet giving up. You see it in the slouched shoulders at bus stops, in the way no one makes eye contact on the street, as if everyone has agreed not to look too closely at each other's sadness lest it mirror their own. Hope feels out of place now, like laughter in a funeral home. This city used to shine. People called it a crown jewel, a crossroad of cultures, a heartbeat of the continent. But somewhere along the line, the music slowed, the color drained, and the frost settled in, not just in the winters, but deep in the marrow. Progress got rerouted and the dreams were left in alleyways and under bridges too brittle to pick up. The city isn't dead, but it's not alive either. It breathes just enough to haunt itself. What's Elise feeling or thinking in this moment?
She's sitting in the center seat, in the back seat of the vehicle. That way she can get a full 360 view of the city as they're passing through, and she leans forward. A hand comes to touch Faraday's shoulder lightly.
I roll my window down. I want to feel the air. I want to smell the city. And then she leans back into her seat as he does, as she asks. When the air rushes in and the rain spatters her face, she closes her eyes and breathes in deep a nostril full of that city air. The smell of rain, fresh rain, is nice. The way it mingles with the dirt and washes away the muck around her helps her think more clearly, and she closes her eyes to do so. She begins focusing on the city around her, listening to the nuances, sirens in the distance, people chattering on a street corner as they passed, the flicker of lights. And as she's doing this, she is focusing on her clairvoyancy, which I would like to use as they're driving through the city now.
Right. Does that require a cross check?
It does. A success.
Right.
Beautiful.
Do you want to use... Are you going to make the roll now for the thing? Do you use that rules?
I am, and I'm going to use a night move, which gives me 2 extra dice.
Yep.
Right? Okay. Just double checking. It's been a minute. Oh, wow. That is 7 successes, which also has a critical in there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Spicy.
Spicy. You let your senses reach out. This is a new experience for you. You've always been able to read things, to read people, to get visions and information off of things, or this is on a different level. You feel the entire city around you. Start picking up chatter. There's whispers at first, kind of a faint resonance of something meaningful. You concentrate on the girl's face, on her name, Cecilia. You ask the city to tell you its secrets. And there it is, faint murmur. You hear the clink of glass, low chatter, music, a bar, no, a hotel. You feel the weight of the past glorious, star-studded even, settling on an image of a place. You start giving Faraday directions, guiding him, following the whispers like a trail in the wild. Your eyes are closed, and eventually you feel a car stop, and Faraday looks at you and he says, we're here, I think. When you open your eyes, you look up. You see the Ruby Foods Hotel. There's a sign outside that says, Auction Attendees, Ballroom A. To the left you see a service entrance, and you see several catering trucks. A lingering image, a young woman in a server's white shirt and black apron. Cecilia. She's here. The city seems to tell you.
Wow. How about we go enjoy ourselves a little auction? Faraday, care to accompany me?
I think I left my wallet out.
I don't think we'll be needing that.
Margot. Vico's relocated since his last penthouse got destroyed by Aegis. His new place, which is in the above city, in a loft in the old port, in the old city of Montreal, could have been copy-pasted from his other place. The outside looks completely different, but inside it's exactly the same. Same layout, same black glass walls, everything exactly the same. Now that you're more attuned to the abyss, now that you're more attuned to that world, you have come to realize that the place itself is not a physical place. There's a physical place, but his apartment is inside the abyss. It's in his oubliette. It's fashioned this way because that's what his oubliette looks like. And whenever you step inside, you're stepping into that world of his. Or at least kind of a very parallel world to it. You knock on the door, and he opens the door. I feel like it's been a while.
I think when he sees her, it's like a completely different woman than what Violet saw. She's sort of wide-eyed and almost helpless in front of him. Vico, I'm about to do something very stupid.
Good.
And very dangerous.
Good. Those are usually the most interesting things.
Yeah, I've got the lead, finally.
The, Enfant Terrible, is that it?
Yeah.
Where?
A hotel.
How did you get the lead?
From him.
From him. So, ergo the stupid and dangerous part.
Yeah. He sent me to a woman, a survivor of his, who knew enough to talk. And she and I talked. I'm not looking to pick up any more strays, but I would appreciate if something happens, just make sure she doesn't die in the next 6 months. It's a favor I'm asking of you, and I don't like to ask those.
This woman that you met.
Yeah, I feel bad for her.
So why don't you stick around and take care of her yourself?
Just in case things go south.
I mean, I'm not going to say the obvious. Well, no, I'm going to say the obvious. It's a trap.
Yeah, I fucking know that.
So why just walk into it? Why not?
Because if I don't confront him, who the fuck will? I don't really see you hot on the trail. And Fiona's got her own shit.
This war of yours against these men is your war, and while I respect it, I also understand that it's something that you have to do. If someone does it for you, it's not going to help you in any way. But I guess my only question would be, when does it stop? When is it enough? When have you done enough that you've patched over whatever it is that's hurting you?
Until I don't see the look on his face when he took me to get my lobotomy.
Fair enough.
Any other questions?
Do you want me to go with you?
Are you busy?
I'm always busy.
Then no.
I can make time.
I can't ask that of you.
You have to.
Do you want to help me?
Do I want to? Yes. Do you want me to?
It's a loaded question, Vico. How can I do that when it's my war?
Traditionally, wars have not been fought in solitary. But you have to ask.
Am I weak if I say yeah?
I don't know. You are weaker than certain things out there, just as I am weaker than certain things out there, and you're also stronger than other things. It's a relative thing. There's no such thing as universal weakness. If asking for help is what's hard for you, doing that makes you courageous. But the question really is whether or not you think that getting through this with my help will be better than doing it alone and failing.
I think she takes a long look at him. And there's this pregnant pause. And there's conflict on her face. I think you're a good man, Vico. Albeit a slut. Yeah, can we go together?
Let me get my jacket.
She just sort of lurks by the door.
You lurk. He just literally goes back inside the house, reaches into a closet, pulls out a thin leather jacket, pulls it on. When he pulls it from the closet and puts it on, you see shadows trailing behind it, and when he puts the jacket on, the shadows sort of settle around him. You've been doing your exercises.
Yes.
Have you talked to anyone in there?
The first time, yes.
Since then?
Would she have?
No, you always kind of feel a certain presence there, but you kind of assume it's that Shalem that you talked to that first time.
No, I haven't. I'm not alone there.
If you encounter something calling itself grandmother, you need to let me know immediately.
Why? Who's that?
Because it's not supposed to be there.
Is there a problem?
Yes.
Do we know how to fix the problem?
Not yet.
Do you want my help?
Maybe. I need to study it a bit more. Have you heard anything about... No, sorry, he wouldn't have asked that because he was there. You remember those brethren of ours we saw at the oratory?
Yes.
They vacated. They're not there anymore. I don't know where they went. I'd love to get my hands on them. matter. Vegan.
It seems violent.
No, I just questioned the coincidence of a bunch of Amici Nocti coming over, and all of a sudden there's weird stuff going on in the Abyss. So I wouldn't mind asking him a couple of questions if you hear anything about where they went.
I might have a contact, but I'm not sure if I can get a hold of that contact.
Well, let's see if we survive tonight, and then we can sort that one out, because it may not matter.
We'll find out. And
where are we going?
what's the name of the hotel?
Ruby Foos.
Ruby Foos Hotel.
That place used to be popping in the 50s.
I wouldn't know. I was too busy being a beatnik.
Why am I not surprised?
It was a horrible time.
Free love.
Ginsburg was cool, but the rest of them were just destined to be hippies. I went a different way.
What way was that?
Punk rock, baby.
I've heard of that. Is it good?
It's all right. The right crowd.
Interesting.
She sort of like lifts up her foot, and she's obviously wearing like docs or some jump boots or whatever, and kind of gives her ankle a little wiggle, and she's very like stompy in her steps. But I think there's something about Vico that kind of lets her be a girl, kind of a girly girl, and she sort of has a little bounce when she walks with him.
You'll have to get me a record or something someday.
Well, if you ever leave your place and come to mine.
Why?
That's where my records are.
I have a record player. I mean, it usually plays Stravinsky, but...
You've never been to my apartment.
No, my place is so nice. It's very quiet and peaceful.
Saying mine's not?
You're into punk rock. I'm assuming your place is pretty fucking chaotic.
It's pretty boring.
Don't spend a lot of time there, do you?
No. I've probably slept in your bed more times this month than mine.
That's a good thing. There's also that time on the floor, and those times on the couch, and that time in the pool.
The pool's good. The couch is great.
And that thing with the shadow tentacles.
You're gross.
Hey, you're the one who did it.
She just shoves her hands in her pockets and sort of like lurches forward and walks.
As you approach the hotel, you arrive at Hotel Ruby Foos under the humming sodium lights of Montreal's Décarie Boulevard. The night folding around you like a half-forgotten memory. The neon sign still flickers stubbornly above the entrance. The once vibrant red, now dulled to a tired pink. The R sputtering like an old man trying to finish a story. For over half a century, the Ruby Foos brand has been a mainstay in Montreal culture. The Chinese restaurant was a famous hangout in the 1950s. The restaurant established itself as the place to see and be seen. Everyone from politicians, movie stars, theater stars, the business and sporting elite all made Ruby Foos the top spot in the city. It was class personified, fun and lively. Then came the Ruby Foos Hotel, which was first opened in 1962. An ideal destination for both business and leisure travelers. In '84, a group of developers acquired the property with the vision of turning it into a 198-room hotel complex. They succeeded. That was then. Now the glory is faded and the past is but dust on the asphalt of the parking lot. The building squats low against the Montreal skyline, a broad, boxy remnant of mid-century ambition. Its facade, once sleek with glass and tile, is now mottled with grime, windows dulled and streaked by years of weather. The once bustling entrance is framed by cracked stone planters, long emptied of their greenery, and a rusted awning that creaks in the wind. You notice the parking lot, vast, and you assume normally half empty, but tonight, quite full. Still has faded lines, barely visible under the glow of the street lamps. There's a stillness here, even with all the cars, the kind that clings to places forgotten by time, where echoes don't bounce back and shadows linger longer than they should. The life here tonight, the people here tonight, seem to be like some sort of stay of execution, maybe a simulacrum of life. But you do see a sign welcoming attendees to an auction. And as you arrive, the three of you, along with your escorts, two of you, are quite surprised to see each other in the parking lot. Elise stepping out of the car, helped by her driver, Faraday. Fiona pulling up in her car. Margot and Vico walking up from across the street. You see each other. Immediately recognize, sensing each other across the parking lot. What do you do?
I think Fiona calls out and goes, "Isn't this a lovely little coven meeting?"
A reunion.
It's nice to see you, Elise.
It's good to see you. Hope you feel well.
I've seen better days, that's for sure. You?
I feel alright. Are you here for the auction?
Something like that. Hey, Margot.
Fiona.
You're
Elise.
Atlas.
I believe my game of cat and mouse has me potentially as a cat currently.
Not a bad position to be in, and I see you're still alive, so good on you.
Well, that trip over to the island, less dangerous than I thought it would be. But now I think I am partaking in something very dumb.
I don't know about you, I kind of like dumb.
What about you, Elise? How stupid do you feel like your decisions can be made?
I follow the scent of rain here.
You're strange.
Yeah, you're not the first person to say that to me.
It's not a bad thing. Just to be clear. My lead led me here. It's redundant. Directed me here.
So we're all going to the auction?
Seems like a plan.
I've got a potential penthouse suite to check out at the top. Room 25, I think it was.
It was 26, Margot.
26.
Vico says, I Speaking of penthouse, I can't help but remember that the last time all of you were together, my place of residence was destroyed.
Sounds like a personal problem.
I offered my place.
Elise, like, moves forward to Vico and kind of strokes his arm.
I remember the last time we were together.
How could I forget?
It's good to see you again.
Pleasure's all
And she
mine.
places a kiss on his cheek, lingering for maybe a tad too long.
Margot looks over to him and says, I told you were a slut.
I never denied it.
You're all about your fucking slut. Shall we go to this fucking auction?
I've heard that one too.
Fiona, whatever became of your friend?
Which friend? I've got lots of friends.
The one who came with you to my apartment the night that you all destroyed it.
Are you talking about Costa or are you
Yes.
talking about Desmond? Okay.
Oh, I've seen Desmond recently. I know Desmond is doing well. He's living with you, Elise, isn't he?
Oh, he is, yes. You've seen him. Has it been nice? I'm sorry. Do go on.
No, Elise, at some point I'd like to connect you if I could maybe chat with Desmond at some point when we can all get together. But my friend Costa, well, I haven't talked to him in a few days, probably a week or so.
Did he survive?
Did he? Because I don't know.
You don't know.
I'm gonna pull out my phone and text Costa and be like, literally write, "Oi cunt, are you alive?"
But it's like letter R, letter U,
Yep.
alive.
Yep.
You dead?
A few moments later. Is this about the 20 I owe you?
You owe me more than 20, you fucking asshole. But I'm glad to see you're not dead.
You left me to die.
Nah, I mean, it's all relative, isn't it?
I'm angry.
Well, let me make it up to you. I'll buy you brunch.
Do they serve brunch at fucking 10 at night? I don't know.
Don't worry, I could arrange for a special treat if you like.
Why not? Speaking of brunch at 10 o'clock at night, welcome in, Raiders. Thank you so much, Wanderers Haven. Jeremy, thank you for coming in. Hey, Yuri, how you doing? It's been a while.
I love how I just dropped a full cunt as they all landed here for the raid.
You really think?
Perfect.
You really think they expect any different coming here? Like,
Hashtag mature.
look, points at everyone on screen.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm a nice girl.
You can be a nice girl and pull a cunty look. It's fine.
I would never use such language.
Yes, moving on from the throne of lies upon which Bones sits.
Raven says I'm an innocent angel.
Yeah, he did.
Raven sits on the throne of lies also. Yeah, so Vika says, shall we?
Well, I guess we shall.
Are you all here for the same reason? Are you all looking for the same person?
Not that I know of.
No.
What a strange question to ask. Who are you looking for?
He's here helping me look for another ghost.
Why would you just assume we're all looking for people? There's an auction. Maybe we're going to the auction.
Maybe you are, but you don't seem... I don't know. We were here looking for someone, so I don't know about you, Elise, so much, but Fiona strikes me as the kind of person who looks for people once in a while. Usually, I guess, for terrible reasons, but...
I have left Fiona out of this part of my war, Vico. She's been a busy figure.
Busy little pup. Got my
Yeah.
own things.
So
Plus,
much going on.
I'll probably ask her for too much help anyway. Gotta give her a break.
You know, I'd drop anything to help you, love.
I know.
Perhaps I could help. I'm quite good at finding things I need.
Elise, how do you feel about very bad men who do ugly things to vulnerable women?
You know, I did ask Desi about your reputation, Margot, and I was quite thrilled about it, honestly.
Oh, and what reputation do I hold in this fair city?
Oh, that you like to do quite horrible things to very bad men who do horrible things to very innocent women.
Yeah.
I think he called you, ghost?
Yeah. Something like that. I've been trailing one who has been the cause of a lot of chaos and pain in this city. And I would like to do really horrible things to him.
And you're here. Do you think he's here?
I think the chances are pretty good that he might be.
And you, Fiona, are you here for this reason as well?
No, I'm looking for someone. Goes by the name of Brooks.
Haven't heard this name before.
Tanner Brooks. Does it ring any bells?
I'm afraid not.
Unfortunately, it's sort of higher up political bullshit. He's apparently blocking me from, well, getting an office again. Can't go into my own place, can't get a new one. And he seems to be the puppet master. So, I'd like to have a little chat with him, respectfully.
I assume he's attending the auction.
That's what I've been told by his assistant. A gal named Miriam said that he'd be here.
What about you, Elise? Are you really here for an auction?
I'm not quite sure what I'm going to find here. I wanted to go on a drive, and I smelled the rain, and it was nice. And I closed my eyes, and I woke up here. It was almost like a dream.
Strange indeed.
I did have a certain girl in mind, though, when venturing from my domicile. Her name came to me in a dream, too.
What is it?
Cecilia?
Oh, you see Margot go stone. Her eyes narrow at you, and her lips kind of curl inward to like a thin line.
You know her?
I know an Elise, Cecilia.
Who is she?
Somebody to be left alone.
I think she needs to be protected.
She is protected.
By
Me.
Well, then where is she now?
Ideally, at home.
And if she is not,
Then she's at work.
what does she do?
Why do you want to know?
I want to know that she's safe. You see, you and I have some similar ideas, protecting the innocent and all that. Taking care of people who can't quite take care of themselves. I'm here to assure the right people are being taken care of.
She doesn't know what I am.
Good. Keep it that way. Who am I to tell you what to tell people? You can do as you wish.
She works for a catering company.
You see Elise's eyes trail over to a van next to the building, and she reads the name of the van off of that one.
Is it that one, storyteller?
Indeed.
I think her eyes linger on you for a little bit longer, Elise, and she looks back very slowly to the hotel. Fucking A.
And you said you're a very bad man who does very bad things to very innocent women inside that building right now as we speak. Room 26, was it?
Margot does not say anything further. You can see the outline of the asp pressed up against the sleeve of her jacket. And she starts walking towards the hotel.
Hang on, Margot.
What?
There's strength in numbers.
Then
And it seems that the three of us have a similar agenda.
Then come on.
Don't go in guns blazing, love. It's not the way.
This person that you're looking for, do you have a picture of them? Something they've touched? Anything at all?
I don't think Margot has anything. Ah! The postcard. She rips it out of her pocket and just shoves it into your face, and it's this postcard that's been addressed to her from him.
You see Elise take it, and she runs the postcard along her face, smells the ink on it as she does so. And I'm going to use Spirit's Touch in this moment on this postcard.
Go ahead and give me a roll. Whilst you're doing that, Fiona,
Doctor.
can you go ahead and give me a wits plus awareness roll?
Wits plus awareness. I can. Hold on.
Oh boy.
I'm going to use another night move on this. I did fail my arouse check. Oh.
Ooh.
But we're okay for now.
I need to double check my little cheat sheet for the heaps of successes and stuff.
What did you get?
Hold on. Let me see if I can figure it out myself.
Yep.
I got a nope. No, I got just a straight success. But I got one of the unks with the 2 pips.
Oh yeah, you need at least 2 of those to.
That's what I thought. But it's 2 successes on that.
Okay. And what about you, Elise? Did you?
Oh shit. So I got 8 successes. But in that I got a messy critical.
I love it so much.
Me too.
do you want to keep it, or do you want to?
Of course, I want to keep it.
Every time you use
there's 8 successes. It's fine, right?
It's only going to be 8 times messy in my head, so it's fine.
Fiona, as this is going on, as they're busy looking at a postcard and exchanging a postcard, you turn to the hotel and you look, and you see in one of the top floor windows, looking down at you from the window, this face.
For fuck's
Margot, you don't notice that, Margot. You're busy.
I think for the first time we are since the fire, the original fire, this is like a moment of like loss of composure for Fiona. Like it's like sweat down the back, kind of like shaking hands. And I think that she's like near Margot and like tapping her wrist with her hand, like.
As you're doing that,
Margot,
you see its face approach the window. You see like breath on it, and he raises a finger and he draws a little heart.
Margot.
She turns.
Margot.
Look at you. What?
And Fiona grabs the back of Margot's head and aims it at the window.
You motherfucker.
And while you're all busy doing that, Elise, you touch the card. You reach out with your extremely sharp senses. You at first get a number of things. You get brief images of Margot sitting alone in an apartment, sitting at a kitchen table, a bare apartment, almost nothing around her, just her stick, her asp on the table in front of her, a cup of black coffee just sitting there as the clock kind of winds itself down. You see the face of a man, an academic looking man with a beard, brown hair, glasses. You get a sense of him being maybe a shrink or something like that. He's sitting in a chair and looking at you very with a lot of care in his face. You get brief flashes and moments of pain. You get a sense of being in a bad place, like a sanitarium or something like that, surrounded by doctors. There's overall, in that first glimpse that you get, a lot of pain and anger and hatred, and it seethes through the touch of the card. And then further down into it, you see years, decades of pain, of the most horrible pain you can imagine, because it's not the pain of someone being tortured physically or killed. It's worse than that. It is decades of women being hurt in the most atrocious ways through violation of their trust, through someone actively looking and finding the most intimate, precise, unique and individual way to each of them, to hurt them in the way that is the worst way to hurt them, very specifically each of them. There is a calculation. There is a depth of evil and coldness that you've rarely ever felt before. And as you feel this sense of the person doing this, you know without a doubt that this person is not human. There is in no way, shape, or form even going back through history and finding the most atrocious humans that have ever lived, there is nothing that compares to the level of depravity and evil and self-satisfaction in it that you get from feeling through this card. You see decades and decades and decades and decades and decades of this. And as you find yourself wanting to stop, wanting to take a step back from it, because the mentality behind what the psychology or the person, whatever it is behind these acts, is doing things that are very antithetical to your own sense of wanting to protect humans and wanting to nurture them and want to care for them. It's just the opposite. It's literally like the complete opposite of that. Wanting to break away from that, you find that you can't. You find that as you are probing into this, the same is being done to you. You see images of the people in your life, images of people you care for, Faraday, Fletcher, Marjolaine, Lawrence, all these people throughout your life, things that you've done, people that you've hurt, people that you loved, people that have done things for you, going back through the decades, all of your life open like a book. And in that moment, you realize that this is what this thing does. It looks and it sees everything, and then it goes through everything about you and your life and your world and your emotions, and it finds that thing, that precise, intimate thing that is going to hurt you most. And it focuses on it. And the last thing that this thing that is looking inside of you, as you are looking inside of it, the last thing it stops on is Fletcher. And then there's a sense of satisfaction and a sense of gratitude to you, thanking you for having given it exactly what it wanted. You watch as Elise's hand opens and the postcard flutters slowly to the ground.
Margot's eyes are still on that window.
I think Fiona's bouncing between watching the two of them.
It's time to go.
Elise.
Am I out of it?
Yeah.
Elise. Are you with us, love?
Yeah. I'm here. Nothing has to die.
Oh, he's gonna fucking die.
He's not human.
What is he?
Storyteller, did I get any inkling of what it could be?
I will say that you got a sense that it is not just one person or one creature or one entity. You got the sense of a legion of them.
Can I also discern that it's not a kindred?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not sure what it is. It's not human. It's not one of us. But there are many. I can't explain it. But it reaches inside of you and it finds the thing most precious. And it destroys it.
Are we walking into the maw of hell?
I think so.
I think Margot looks back at both of you. You can leave now. I wouldn't hold it against you.
I came here to protect a girl and I'm doing what I said I was going to do.
She looks back to Faraday. Go to the car.
Maybe we should...
She
Should we call Fletcher?
takes his face in her hands. Just go to the car.
You see him hesitate. He looks at the lot of you. Vico looks at him and goes, Get in the car. And Faraday just turns and walks and goes into the car. Vico comes up to you, Fiona, and says, "You must have people."
I've got people. I've got fucking armies.
Connections with the law.
What kind of law?
There are hunters in the city now. There are people watching everything we do. They're onto us. If we go in there, a place that is filled with, as far as we know, human. We have no way of controlling what happens if they start panicking, see things, run out, use their cell phones, film things.
You said there's hunters.
There are hunters in the city. They're after us.
Maybe that's exactly it then. Maybe we want them to film.
I'm not sure I follow what you're saying. That would be bad for us.
If something goes sideways, we've got these hunters here. Who knows who they're fucking connected to at this point? We get some footage, get the right people, compile it together. Maybe the hunters become the hunted then. Do you see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying, but it doesn't change the fact that if we go in there and start doing vampire shit.
I'm not saying we go in there and start doing vampire shit. I'm saying we go in there and be fucking sneaky, like we know how to do. And if we need to cause a scene, it's a specific scene directed a specific way.
There's not going to be a scene. There's not going to be vampire shit. Here's what's going to happen. We go in sneaky like Fiona said. Stick to the shadows, Vico. I know you can do that.
You got lots of shadows there. Shadows are good at obscuring a lot of things, including cell phone cameras.
He looks over to Elise. The last time we got into a fracas, you didn't seem very comfortable. Are you sure you want to go in there?
I was busy last time. I was looking for clues.
Clues in the buff. Your birthday suit.
I know how to make myself useful.
Sure you do.
Yeah. I think she looks back over to Vico. I wouldn't hold it against you if you left either.
Leave. Most interesting. This is the most interesting thing that's happened since you all destroyed my first house.
Just saying, I knew that this was stupid going into it. Now it seems really fucking crazy. And as she looks back up at the window, is he still there?
No, but you see, lingering on the window, the heart that he drew on the steam of its breath.
These postcards I keep getting from him refer to me as all of their number one lover. Let's be
call
very
me a slut.
Let's be very clear about this. If things go sideways, just go. She looks very pointedly at Fiona when she says that.
No fucking way, love.
I'm telling you, Fiona, just get out of there.
Margot, we've bare-knuckle boxed people in the back of a bar in New York City in the 70s. You think I'm going to back down from some little fight like this?
This isn't some little fight. If what Elise says is true, we might be fucked. But I can't let this guy get away, these people get away any longer.
Let me put in a call then. I'm going to call for, or have Bruno call for whomstever I have on retainer that could come in as extra hands if we need extra hands.
And as you pick up your phone and start dialing, and Miss Francis makes her displeasure known.
You think I'm a boo-ha? She boo-ha.
Go ahead. As you pick up the phone and dial, looking for the cavalry, I think that's a good point for us to call it tonight.
I want to keep playing.